And I'm going to give you one opportunity because we're friends.
Winner! Who gives a shit about where the Bulls pitch?
Yeah, F him. They went from loving this guy, best move ever, to hating him.
I think it's the most ridiculous thing in the world.
I love it because it tells you how the game was played.
There's nowhere for him to go. I think there's one place.
You can't do that in the national team.
Those things that are absolutely insane.
Successful and sexy? No. It wasn't aggravating at times? Yes.
Sorry,
That's not very fair.
It's not about being fair.
Welcome to the greatest soccer show ever.
Well, Merry Christmas, friends. We are officially, I believe, 3 days away from Christmas. The festive soccer period fun is already started and is happening. What an amazing set of games we've had this weekend. We got a lot to get to. Oh, my. That Liverpool Spurs game, that is the game I would tell you to show people if they say soccer is boring, because that game had action, it had goals, had a little bit of everything. Ooh, it was fun. A lot of other results to get to this weekend. Lots of stuff to talk about. But before we do, I do want to say Merry Christmas to everybody. A Merry early Christmas to everybody. Hopefully your Christmas period will be enjoyable. Your teams will win. You will spend some time with some family. You'll have some drinks and some good food. All right. So yes, this weekend that we're talking about. Oh my word, there was some games, huh? Liverpool run rampant on Spurs. Villa beat City 2-1 up to Villa. That was at Villa Park. That could have been 5-0 or 5-1. Villa were all over City. We're going to talk about that. Both clubs there. We're talking about Man United losing to Bournemouth, and yes, the ceiling is falling at Old Trafford. Leaking. We got a couple of funny comments to read off there. Arsenal get the job done in style, 5-1 winners against Crystal Palace. Oh, FIFA and Netflix have signed a deal. They're in agreement to show the Women's World Cups 2027 and 31. And did you realize that the MLS superdraft happened this past week? You may not have, but we're going to tell you a little bit about it. We got a lot to get to. All right, myself and Brooks in the studio today. We are without Nate and Danny, both off celebrating, having fun in the Christmas period. Brooks, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. Santa, the other elves took off, man.
I know, what the F?
Yeah, you didn't give them time off.
I did not.
Yeah.
You know what?
I know.
These elves, I tell you.
I know.
Days.
I know.
Yeah, it is what it is. Well, you know what? They're spending time with family. They're spending time doing fun holiday things. It is what it is. We are gonna. You know what we can do though?
What?
We can have some fun at their expense.
Yes, we can.
Because Man United lost again. And then during the press conference for Ruben Amorim, it started leaking. The roof was leaking at Old Trafford. Some funny comments there about it. So we'll have a little fun because they can't be here to defend their club.
Yeah, I know, man. Oh darn.
But how's your week been, man? I know you finished up the combine. I know you were doing a little bit about the draft. We're gonna get into that. I have questions about that.
Yeah.
But how's the week and how's the weekend?
Yeah, no, it was good. Let's see. Wednesday, Thursday was the Midwest Pro Combine that we hold at Legacy Center in Brighton. Every December we hold that event, and it was good. The players were happy. Club showed up, and I get the video and everything else collected and out to the clubs that attended and the clubs that couldn't attend that wanted the video and everything. So nice. That, and then Friday was the MLS Super Draft. So helping out a few of the clubs that we work with at the Soccer Syndicate in the draft, and it was good. It was good. It was a draft, and it was interesting, and we'll get to that later, so some teasers for everyone.
For everybody who doesn't know, Brooks works with the Soccer Syndicate, a company that works with MLS clubs and scouts players from around the country. So, a big-time scout over here, Brooks. All right. We are going to start with the EPL and some of the games that happened there this weekend. But before we do, I do want to say a big thank you, as usual, to our good friends who've helped us along the way. Big thank you to Soccer World, soccerworld.net for all your soccer gear needs. By the way, we'll talk about this in a couple of seconds, provided by Soccer World, so thank you guys. Big thank you to Next Level Training, Aaron, Dylan, Scotty, Renato, the boys and girls over there at Next Level Training. Sign up. They got camps through the winter break here. year.
They're pro camps.
They're pro
but
camps.
They're pro
with,
players.
With pro players coming into town, helping out of the camp. So next level training, sign up before all those spots are gone. Big thank you to the Michigan Jags. Michigan Jags have a couple of 4-on-4 tournaments coming up. I believe my kids are playing in those. That'll be a lot of fun there. So big thanks to the Michigan Jags. Big thank you to Thomas McGee's. Thomas McGee's downtown Detroit. Oh, by the way, one of the best days of football is the day after Christmas. We call it Boxing Day in England, Brooks, just so you're aware.
Everyone fights?
Yeah, what? No, not that type of boxing.
Oh, not that. Okay, my bad.
I like where that was going, though.
Okay.
But all the football teams are playing, so get down to Thomas McGee's. He has all the games on at Thomas McGee's, the Boxing Day event. And a big thank you to the football doc, Dr. Zachary Atwood. Listen, if you're a player looking to get back into the game after an injury, if you're looking to have some physical therapy done or some baseline testing done, contact the football doc.
He did that for the combine for us.
Yeah, he was out there helping, right?
Yes, it went very well, very well. So, yes, if you need any strength plate testing or anything with Dr. Zach or test out your vertical, how you jump and whatnot, he's got that as well. So he's the man. He's the man.
Yeah, Dr. Zach definitely is the man.
Yeah.
Big thank you to Fab Football Academy as well, located in England. If you've got a gap year, if you're looking to get over there and possibly play in Europe, hit up the Fab Football Academy. Good friends of ours. All right, let's jump in. Let's talk about it. The first game that happened yesterday, I want to jump to it. Aston Villa versus Man City. It was 7:30 a.m. kickoff here in Detroit in the United States, the Eastern time zone. Villa started out with a flash, man. They came out ready, roaring. They had a couple of early chances, only by, this much of the ball not being over the line was the first goal counted. So Villa came out really well. Finally, we're able to break the deadlock with Johan Duran. The guy can't stop scoring, man.
Did he start?
He did. He got the
Wow.
start. Game in a row, he got the start. Ollie
Super
Watkins
sub the starter.
on the bench. Super sub, comes in, starts, scores a great goal. He played very well. I was really happy to see him get a solid 80 minutes. I would have loved to have seen him get 90, but it is what it is. Morgan Rogers, this guy is absolutely phenomenal for being 21 years old. Now, I don't know if a lot of people know this. Morgan Rogers, 3 years ago, was playing at
Middlesbrough.
Well, no, before that.
Oh.
He was sold to Middlesbrough.
Oh, where was he playing before?
Man City.
Oh, he's one of their academy guys?
City. He was playing there. He couldn't break through, and they sold him to Middlesbrough for $1.5 million.
Wow, now you have him.
He played in the championship, and Aston Villa went after him. Middlesbrough turned down the first two offers. Villa came back with a third offer, and they couldn't turn it down, $19 million.
So if you're Man City at this moment, and you didn't keep Morgan Rogers, and you gave away Cole Palmer, and you're struggling mightily with old people in your midfield,
Brooks,
whose fault is that?
Whose fault is this?
Yes.
Listen, we've talked about it. They have brought in great players throughout the years. I mean, phenomenal players, but normally they're paying 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 million for these great players.
Yep.
They've had so many young players come through their ranks that they've let go. Cole Palmer, they did sell for $40 million.
Yep.
So that's a hell of a profit on a young player that's come through.
Yep.
But imagine what they could be doing today if they had Cole Palmer in their team. Right?
Yeah.
The only reason he wanted to go is because he wasn't getting the opportunities, and he didn't see the opportunities coming. They sold him $40 million. Morgan Rogers, they didn't see the potential. They sold him for £1.5 million.
So,
I mean, how do you not see it? The kid is running rampant in the Premiership right now. He's phenomenal.
my question with Cole Palmer is, and it's funny because Citigroup are very much, because NYCFC runs this, where they have an age limit where, like, you when you hit that age limit and you run out of time, they get rid of you.
Okay.
You know, that's how they very much assess players, and, you know, when they buy them and when they want to sell them and whatnot. Wouldn't you have thought that probably when Cole Palmer was coming up through the system, I mean, with Phil Foden, obviously, maybe just getting into the first, the first team and whatnot, wouldn't you look at, like, Kevin De Bruyne can't last this long, nor can Ilkay Gundogan.
Gundogan's 34, Kevin De Bruyne is 33.
Exactly. At some point, you just tell yourself, we need to keep these guys because they're really good players, and they just fill in. And I just don't understand sometimes the thought process of coaches. And I get it, like, they were at different spots in their life and whatever. Yep. But, like, you're Man City. You should be able to assess that and understand the up-and-coming players. Like, I don't understand that.
Brooks, you and I are on the same page with that, my friend. I agree. I'm not sure what happened. The assessment of these players has gone absolutely backwards. Now, I will say, Phil Foden this year has been terrible. Has been absolutely terrible. Last year, Player of the Year in the Premiership. He was phenomenal, right?
Yep.
This year, terrible. Jack Grealish this year, not good. At Villa 3 years ago, Jack Grealish, everybody loved to watch him play. He could dice people, score goals left and right, and have some fun. This year, since he's gone to City, and especially this year, it's go forward 20 yards, bring the ball back, and it's all about possession. When we get to the next game, which is Liverpool versus Spurs, I have a comparison, Liverpool and Man City, and I think I know where the breakdown is.
Interesting.
So we'll talk about that in the next segment with the next game. Aston Villa, though, do officially move up to 5th place. They missed a couple of opportunities earlier this season to get points. It is what it is. I'm happy with 5th. Man City dropped to 6th. We'll show that table in a second as well. Man City struggling mightily. As we said, they've won 1 in the last 12. They've let in 27 goals in the last 12 games.
That's a lot.
Very un-Man City-like.
Yeah.
Listen, what happens now? Does Pep Guardiola go back to the drawing table and start over again? Because I'm going to read off the ages of the players here.
I'm curious. Read that off first.
It is not going to be easy to just dump these players, right? Because they're on big salaries as well. All right. We'll start from the goalkeeper position. Now, goalkeepers are a little different. Ederson is 31 years old.
Sure.
That is not old in goalkeeper.
You can play till you're 40.
He's been dropped 2 or 3 times this year.
Yes.
And Stefan Ortega's come in. Ortega's 32. Ortega is not. He's not a starting goalkeeper in the Premiership. I'm sorry. He's just not. Ederson is on his day, but he struggled.
I think there's a rough point with Ederson because I think he said he wants to be sold. He doesn't want to be there anymore. I think he's kind of at end with that. So
I think Ederson really wanted to go to Saudi Arabia last year.
Get a lot of money.
And that money.
Yep.
They do have 2 other goalkeepers. Scott Carson, we all know that situation. 39 years old. He's just there to keep the I'm English.
Yeah.
I came through your system and whatever, right?
Yeah.
And
I'm
then
third string.
Right. They got a younger kid, 17-year-old Max Hudson. All right, here's where we really get into the meat for Manchester City. Kyle Walker, 34 years old.
Yeah.
Ruben Diaz, 27, prime. John Stones, 30. Cannot stay healthy.
Yeah.
He has appeared in 8 games this year. Nathan Ake, 29. Josko Gvardiol, who they just purchased last year, he's 22, so still young. Yep. Manuel Akanji, 29. Then you got a couple of youngsters. Braithwaite is 16. Simpson Poussey is 19. Rico Lewis is 20. You got another youngster, Wilson Espran, 21. Mateo Kovacic, 30, and he looks all of 30.
Yeah.
Trust me, he looks like he's getting to the end of it.
You need young people in the midfield with him for him to work.
Exactly. Jack Grealish, 29. Rodri, injured this year, out for the season, 28. Kevin De Bruyne, 33. Ilkay Gundogan, 34. Bernardo Silva, 30. You had Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, and Grealish all in and around 30-plus years old, starting against Aston Villa, playing against Morgan Rogers, Tielemans, John McGinn, who outworked all of them.
Yeah, the legs start to go with those age. If you're in all the competitions, they start to go quick.
You nailed it. They're in all the competitions, right? Yep. So Phil Foden, 24. Oscar Bob, he's been injured the entire year, 21. He is a good young player. Do not count Oscar Bob out. Then you got a couple of youngsters, Jacob Wright, Riley. James McAtee's finally back. He's 22. Another youngster. And then Erling Haaland is only 24. Yeah. Doku's 22. Savinho, 20. And then another youngster, Mubama, 20. So the main players, though, in this team are anywhere from 29 to 34.
Yeah.
You've got about 6 players that you just need to ship off.
Yeah.
Sell them to Saudi Arabia, rip up the contracts. But it's not easy to start over. Yeah. You've let a bunch of youngsters, like you said, Palmer, Morgan Rogers, you've let them go.
Unless they trust these new guys they have on their roster to come in. If they feel that they're better than Palmer and Rogers, but interesting.
It's going to be interesting to see what Pep Guardiola and this club do, because it is.
I think winter window, they're going to bring in some younger guys. I mean, I think they have to. They need 1 or 2 signings for that midfield.
You need young signings, but you need young signings who can make a difference.
Sure, that probably have experience and have played.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, listen, Manchester City went to Aston Villa last year in mid-December, and Villa won 1-0, but that was a game where Villa just sat back and said, we're going to defend for our lives. And I think the offside trap that Villa had at the time worked wonders. I mean, they must have been offside 12 times in Villa's trap. You could tell the trap that was happening and the tactic that Villa went with. This year, it was, no, scrap that. We're going to go at them.
Yep.
This team can't hang with us. This game should have been 5-1 in the end. And the only reason Manchester City got a single goal in this game is because in the dying 2 minutes of the game, a left back decided he was going to control the ball instead of hoofing it out, and he tripped over it, and Phil Foden was there and just knocked it in first touch. It is what it is. Should have been 2-0, ends 2-1. I don't care. Anyway, Villa win. Yay. Happy.
Yeah.
Good weekend for me.
Good lead up to your Christmas.
I mean, Aston Villa now have given me a great Christmas. I mean, a brilliant Christmas. That's what it's all about.
Yes.
We'll talk about some of the other results coming up, but Man City, absolutely in free fall. They got to figure something out. I mean, before the fall happened, Pep Guardiola signed a brand new contract for an extension, another 2-year extension. So they can't exactly get rid of him because it's probably money loaded there. All right, let's talk about that Liverpool visiting Tottenham Hotspur game that happened today, and it finished 6-3 to Liverpool. This game, right from the start, both teams going at it. I mean, you had to pay attention. If you didn't know the score of this game, you would have thought it was like 100-90. It was crazy.
Holy smokes, Liverpool had 24 shots, 12 on target, and Tottenham had 9 with 5 on target.
Yeah, and it seemed like Tottenham had more, to be honest.
They had more possession, Tottenham, 52%.
Yes.
And they completed more passes. Wow. Man, they must have a lot of transition in this one.
Oh, it was up and down, back and forth. These players were exhausted. It was phenomenal. So this is probably the one and only time you'll ever hear me say this. Liverpool play to perfection 4-3-3. It is absolutely the best tactic and formation for them to play. Mm-hmm. To a T, they play it.
Sure.
They sit back, they press, and when they win the ball, they are so fast. Oh my gosh. Now, not only do the front three just take off and are able to crisscross and run at players, the three midfielders are able to get up there. Sloboslai, McAllister, the two that just workhorses in the middle to get up there. And guess who had some goals today? Soboslai and McAllister.
Salah had 2.
Salah had 2. Oh, and by the way, he had 2 assists. By the way, the 2 goals he scored, probably the easiest goals he's ever going to score, just like on the doorstep and the ball bounces to him. 2 assists were very nice. History made today with that, by the way. First player ever to have double-digit assists and double-digit goals before the halfway point of the season.
Salah?
Yeah.
Wow.
First time that's ever happened.
That's really difficult to do.
Yeah, so he is on fire at the moment. But this Liverpool team play with speed. Mm-hmm. Just speed. They're so fast. Now, in the last segment, you heard me talk about Man City. What is the one thing that they've done over the years? They've controlled games. They control things. They love to knock the ball in, and they love to hold possession. Slow. Slow. So slow. It's so easy to defend that these days. Liverpool, they don't care. They're like, no, we're just going to go.
Yep.
They must have had 50 breaks down the field. And as you saw, as you heard, 24 shots, 12 on goal, 6 goals.
Yeah.
I'll take that all day long, man. Yeah. All day long. They're
50% conversion rate for shots on goal.
They're conditioned well. They've got pace. They know what they're doing. They're having fun. It is incredible to watch. What a game that was. Spurs, they've got a couple of issues at the moment. Ange Postecoglou going to have to figure that out with them.
Being very Spursy.
Ooh, they are being Spursy. They go ahead and beat people 4-0, then they lose 4-0, and then they go and then they lose to Liverpool. I think everybody at this point is going to lose to Liverpool like that. But Spurs did win midweek. They beat Man United. They looked really good, by the way. They looked really good. Where they're struggling right now, Fraser Forster. That is not a backup goalkeeper I want in in my goal.
They probably need a legit number one.
So that's one thing they're going to have to go out and get.
Yeah.
They got to go out and get a backup goalkeeper because Fraser Foster has just been shipping in goals in the wrong net here. A couple of giveaways against Manchester United. They got some easy goals there. Today, I think in the second minute, he tried to float a ball over a defender and he put it right at the defender's chest and a shot came in. So Fraser Foster, not a backup goalkeeper I would want anywhere near my club. Spurs, they got some injuries they're dealing with. Kulishevsky still looks good, even though
Scored a goal today.
he did. He had a really nice goal.
And
too.
Madison and
Madison had a
Solanke.
nice goal. Solanke, yep. Those are the three. When those three are firing, they're going to need Brendan Johnson to pick it up a little bit. They got to get Mickey Van de Ven back and healthy and being able to run in the back and save goals. They got to get the number one goalkeeper back. They got a couple of injuries. They got a couple of people to come back. But for me, this game is all about Liverpool. I mean, they are just the class of the Premiership right now, class of the soccer world. I don't think there's a team right now in the world that's better than them.
Yeah, I mean, the explosive soccer they play and then just the quick decision making. I think that's what people kind of confuse a little bit is, oh, I'm Man City. I play this, wonderful, beautiful passing soccer. And I think it's even more beautiful when you can play at a fast pace and make the quick decisions to get easy goals or to score in the transition, honestly.
Yeah. So, Brooks, you've been watching a lot of youth soccer. You've watched a lot of college soccer. As we know, for the past, 10 years or so, it's all possession-based, right?
It is.
It's become possession-based and slow, and
Yeah.
you want to control the game. Is it going back to the way it was before that, where it was, hey, let's run, let's go have fun, let's get people who can take people on and score goals, and I'll run at you 50 times, and if we score 6 goals, we're gonna win.
Yeah.
Is it going back to that?
I think teams press a lot, but I don't think they're very good in transition, to be honest with you.
That's the big
You can
thing.
press, but you can be crappy in transition because you can win the ball back and don't make the right pass.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. If you play backwards, it's like, well, now we're just keeping possession.
It's all about transition. How do you transition as a club with the ball, without the ball?
Yeah.
If you can transition well
Your
with the ball,
positioning.
it's great. But if you can transition, if you transition poorly without the ball,
Yeah.
that's when you get opened up.
Positioning, too, where the
It's all about
midfielder is when you win the
Yeah.
ball and where your far side winger is and how your outside back gets around. I mean, it's a lot. I mean, you got to pay attention, and kids have short attention spans these days.
I just hope Scott Emmert isn't watching and listening to me say 4-3-3 is the way to go.
Yeah.
Just for Liverpool. Just for Liverpool.
Those are both. Not for bullets.
No, for bullets. That's the way we're going to play anyway. All right, before we get too far ahead, I do want to just mention the shirt we're wearing here, In Heebs We Trust. So a lot of you know our friend David Heebstreet passed away a couple of weeks ago. Kind of a sad, unfortunate incident that happened. He's had some heart issues over his life, and he passed away, unfortunately. This past week, we did a celebration of his life. His very close friends and his family did an awesome celebration of life for a lot of us to come and attend, and we had a couple of beers, we had some pizza, we all talked about Dave. We got to look at a lot of his soccer gear that they had displayed, some pictures and stuff. We got to tell a lot of stories, and the people who stood up and talked about him did a phenomenal job. This particular piece, they sold shirts, and they had a couple patches and stickers.
I think you can still buy it at some point or
I
something, right?
think you can still buy them on soccerworld.net. Big thank you to soccerworld.net. Appreciate you guys stepping up, and everything that was made out of these is going to help the costs for the medical bills that were accumulated and some of the stuff that he had left over that he wasn't able to pay for when he passed away. So big thank you to our friends at Soccer World for producing these and selling them there. But yeah. All right, we got a couple of other things to get to. We're going to talk about one or two other games. We're going to talk about FIFA and Netflix signing up. We're going to talk about the MLS Superdraft. I was learning a lot about the Superdraft before the show started. Brooks was telling me, and it's changed a little bit, and it's gotten a little bit, I'll say, silly. Mm-hmm. We got a couple of things to talk to about that when we come back.
Hi, Brooks. We're at our favorite store, Soccer World in Rochester. We do some light shopping. Okay. Nothing big. Ooh, pretty colors. Oh, and one of these too?
Ooh, Germany. Nate would like this.
Hey, Brooks, look at all these. Look what I got.
America. Ooh, wow, that's not MLS. Cool.
Socks? No.
Ooh, a ball pump.
Next to line.
Sir, you're next.
Right. That's a mannequin. You know that.
Huh?
It's a mannequin.
Oh. Sorry, sir.
Craig, what are you doing?
Nothing.
Huh?
We were back, and then we weren't back. Now we're back fully. All right. A couple of the games we're going to talk about that happened. That Manchester United hosting Bournemouth game. Ruben Amorim and that new manager bounce left pretty quickly, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Oh, my.
Turn the corner.
Turn in the corner.
Turn one corner, then we go back around, and then we just go in circles.
Just go. It's a circle.
It's a constant circle.
It's just a constant circle.
Yes.
Man United. But listen, if there was one thing I would say Man United need to work on this week, it's their shooting. There were so many shots. You may have to pull up how many shots they had in this game, but I mean, Mazraoui in the last 10 minutes, I think, had 3. There was a couple of other players who just. You're nowhere near the ball, near the goal. What are you
ready?
Yeah.
23 shots, 7 on target. They had 60% of the possession, 492 passes compared to Bournemouth's 337. Yep.
How many shots did Bournemouth have?
Bournemouth had 10 shots with 5 on target.
5 on target and 3 in the back of the net.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I like those.
Did
odds
you
right
say
there.
20?
By the way, here's the corners, by the way. Man United 13, Bournemouth 1 for corners. So apparently set pieces are something they have to work on as well.
Work on set pieces. Work on shooting the ball on target.
Yeah.
On goal.
Yeah, need more creative set piece plays, maybe.
Oh, my God. All right, so there's a couple of rumors out there. Apparently, Man United are looking at Leroy Sané from Bayern Munich. I don't think that's going to solve the problem.
No.
Bringing in just another random striker.
Yep.
I don't think that's going to happen. Rumors are that 2 clubs are looking at Harry Maguire.
Oh, they need to get rid of him at some point. They need some money for him.
They paid 70 plus for him. They need to recoup some of the money. I tell you what, Martinez, defender. Oh my God, he has gotten torn apart in the last 2 games. Today, he was nowhere near his man where he should have been marking for that 3rd goal. Yeah. And then when they played Spurs midweek, Kulusevski danced around him. Terrible defending. He's lost his way.
I think Garnacho has to leave since he's the one that's leaking the starting 11.
It might be him.
If it's him. If it is him. If he's an issue, they need to get rid of issues. They don't need any more of this stuff in their locker room.
He played today. He had a couple of shots on target, a couple of shots off target. Yeah. He is not the same player as when he broke onto the scene last year.
Yep.
It is, and Marcus Rashford, as we know, that situation, he just needs to leave. They need to sell him. But the problem is, there's not a lot of clubs who can afford to pay the wages he's going to want. He's on $320,000 plus a week. Yeah. He's going to want that again.
Going to PSG.
A PSG,
Saudi League,
or a Chelsea, and that's about it.
Yeah.
And I don't think Chelsea need him. Chelsea don't need that because they already got good players. Although Christian Nkunku at Chelsea is reported to want to leave as well. I don't think he's happy with his playing time and the way he's been treated through his injury. But
back to the Bundesliga.
Back to the Bundesliga with you, Mr. Nkunku.
Yes.
Anyway, Man United. I want to read some things after the game, after the 3-0 defeat at home to Bournemouth. This is what was being said. So there was a press conference, and Ruben Amorim, we got a lot. We knew it was going to get bad.
Yeah.
We knew it was going to be bad, but I don't know if we know it was going to be this bad. And then all of a sudden, the roof started leaking inside the room that they were doing the press conference. And you see Ruben Amorim look up, and he goes, "Oh." And there's water coming through because it was raining in Manchester because it's England and Manchester, right? And then all of a sudden, the pictures went out.
When does New Trafford get built?
So we'll talk about that right after this.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
All
so
right.
Old Trafford right now, fans have reacted to the leaked picture on social media with many saying it's the perfect metaphor. One posted, even calling the ceiling is crying at the downfall of this club. A second wrote, it's their fans' tears. A third commented, a metaphor if ever I saw one. All right, 2 more. A fourth person said, it sums up the state of the club right now. Another added, leaks in our defense, leaks in our roof, leaks from the dressing room. Man United.
Yes.
All right, now with all that being said, this is being talked about, a £2 billion stadium is being proposed for Man United.
On the exact site, right?
I believe so. I haven't really looked into it, but yes.
So where would they play? Wembley? No, that's in London. My bad.
In London, too far away.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that there is a plan. I haven't read
Do you
too much
share
into
the
it.
Etihad Stadium?
Oh God, no, they wouldn't. Do that. No. But the new stadium is being proposed at 100,000 capacity. So I don't know. It's interesting, but that is out there. That's pretty much the Sun right now that is running, and the Sun isn't quite reliable source. They're more entertainment, but they are running with this nice picture of this huge stadium that you can see through. I don't know, Brooks, if you can see that.
I can.
You can kind of see through some of the piece there.
Yeah, into the stadium where the stands are. Renderings are never the exact what it is, but you know.
Never ends up being right. But listen, Man United, my word, I did not see them having quite this downfall with a new coach coming in. Ruben Amorim figuring out pretty quickly that he is a struggle at Manchester United club right now. He's got a lot of work to do to turn that around.
Yeah. Maybe like a college coach where, you just don't coach the team. You got to go out and get some fundraising done,
He's got to get some fun.
Yeah, you got to go sell some pizzas or cookies or something, to fix the leaks. Yeah.
I can see him doing that at his next press conference. Buy the cookies.
Yeah.
The cookies.
And then you got to take the players with you, too.
These red and white cookies, they're going to help us purchase our next player.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, but you take the players with them, knock on door to door to be like, and they're all in uniform or something, selling cookies like Girl Scouts or something.
That'd be hilarious. That would be great.
Yeah.
All right, this past weekend, Arsenal got the job done against Crystal Palace 5-1, running away in style. I tell you what, Arsenal are playing very well.
Saka got hurt, though.
Saka, though, limped out in crutches.
Yep.
He hurt his hamstring. He looks like he could be done. They've got a lot of games coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, they need.
Saka could be on the sidelines. That is going to be a big hole in their offense and how they transition moving forward.
Yep.
That could be a big problem for them. I do want to put up the table real quick. Here we go. As you can see, Liverpool just running there. 16 games played, 12 wins, 1 loss, 3 draws for Liverpool. They're 39 points. Chelsea moving up in a second. They actually had a chance to go into first earlier today by winning, but they drew with Everton, unfortunately for them.
Good old Everton, stealing points.
Everton getting points all over the place, man. It's incredible. Chelsea, 17 games played, 35 points. Arsenal, 17 played, 33 points. Now, just so everybody's wondering, wait a minute, why are Liverpool only on 16? Because they had their game last week or the week before, I forget, I think it was 2 weeks ago now, against Everton, postponed due to weather. So as you see down there, Everton in 15th, also on 16 games.
So by Christmas, do you ever predict in the top 5 there'd be Nottingham Forest and Bournemouth?
No. And Bournemouth only moved up above Villa today because they beat Manchester United. But they're on the same points, but they're ahead on goal difference.
Yeah.
No, I don't think anybody in their right mind would have put Bournemouth or Nottingham Forest in the top 5 at Christmas time. Do I expect them to stay there? No. No, I think they'll drop down the table. I think they might finish top 10. I think they're playing super well. They could definitely finish top 10, but I do not think they finished top 5, especially when you get Villa, United, Newcastle, who also won, by the way. Isak scoring a hat-trick this weekend. Don't forget, you've got Brighton down there. Tottenham want to get up into that top 5.
We're in a struggle right now, Brighton. Tying and losing. We need to get a couple wins, man.
They really are struggling.
If they had a couple wins, they'd be right in that 6-7 area where Villa is around there.
Yep. So, I definitely see Nottingham Forest and Bournemouth dropping out. Maybe sticking around the top 10, but I just don't, especially Bournemouth, I don't see them holding on into that top 5. I think Villa, City, Newcastle, or even a Brighton and a Tottenham, if they can get their act together, getting up into that final 5th spot. But the top 3 for me, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, that's your top 3. I think that's the way that's actually probably the way it'll finish.
Yep. I think so. I don't think anyone's catching those guys.
No, I don't think so. The clear clear, I don't want to say favorites, but the best teams in the league so far.
So does it get this bad this year where Man United gets close to relegation?
Oh, Brooks. Christmas dreams sometimes come true, but very often they don't.
I know.
No,
I just can't see the ones below them like jumping them unless somehow they pull something out of their butt and they beat some teams every once in a while.
Agreed. But no, I don't see Southampton, Ipswich. Wolves won today. They beat Leicester, so that's 3 points that they very much needed.
Yeah.
I don't see. Listen, it's going to be Leicester, Wolves, Ipswich, and Southampton fighting for that.
Sure.
those
And maybe
bottom three
Palace because
spots.
they make it close every year.
Palace, man, I really thought they were going to start doing better a couple weeks ago, but just seemed to have dropped off again. Everton climbing as they normally do. They'll finish in around 14th or 15th. West Ham having a torrid year. We expected more from them with all the signings that they had. So interesting from them. And obviously, they, as you said, at Manchester United in 13, 17 games played, 6 wins from 17, 7 losses, 4 draws. Very un-Manchester United-like, but negative 1 goal difference. So yeah, there's your table.
So that's crazy. Like we look at that, like Tottenham has a plus 14 goal differential, but they only have they're in 11th place.
Yeah, that is nutty, isn't it?
Yeah.
Plus 14th. It's
So they have a goal differential better than pretty much everyone besides the top 3 teams.
means when they win large, but
Yes.
when they lose, they only lose by 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's strange.
Mm-hmm.
Very strange from them. All right, Brooks, did you hear about that agreement that was signed this past week with FIFA and Netflix?
I did. I think I shared that in our group text.
You might have. So FIFA and Netflix have signed a historic agreement relating to the exclusive rights in the United States to the 2027 and 2031 installments of the FIFA Women's World Cup, and what represents a landmark announcement for women's football. I actually think this is a really good thing.
Yeah.
So this is a really good thing. I don't want to say an argument, but a discussion in our Facebook group, the We Are Soccer Facebook group, this past week about this. I think this is a great thing for the women's game because, Brooks, do you have a Netflix account?
I do.
Okay, I have a Netflix account. Almost everybody I know
As Netflix.
has a Netflix account.
Yes.
Do you have a Paramount Plus subscription?
I do.
Do you have a Peacock subscription?
I do.
Do you have a ESPN Plus?
I do.
Yes.
I have all of them because I watch all the soccer.
I watch all the soccer as well.
Yes.
But to the average fan out there,
Yes. They may only have one.
they
or
may
two.
have one. They may not have that Paramount. They may not have that ESPN Plus.
But Netflix, everyone has for movies and shows.
Everybody has it.
Yes.
Everybody. And what is one thing that we really want women's soccer to, the audience we want to get to? It's kids.
Yes, the younger generation.
The younger generation. We want the kids to start watching it. Kids will watch this. This is an easy way for kids and everybody to watch. So I think it's a great thing. Yeah. I don't think there's going to be an extra package involved. I don't think there's going to be an extra tier or anything. It's just, you've got Netflix. The Women's World Cup games are on. Yay.
Yeah, you may get a few more, obviously, with the ad tier. You may get a few more commercials or something before or after or whatever, but they'll work that in somehow.
You're going to get commercials in the live sporting events.
I think this is an experiment for me, where does Netflix go and say, hey, Premier League, everyone has Netflix, or hey, like I mean, MLS, I don't think they're going to stick with Apple. Like, hey, they're going to, I think it's a battle between Amazon Prime and Netflix to get as many leagues as they can, or as many matches as they can. They may not get all of them, but yep.
You nailed it. This is an easy way for Netflix to get into a
because they have 2 Christmas
entire
games
tournament
for football for
Yes.
NFL.
Yes, there's football games on, there's basketball games on all these channels now, but these streaming networks are getting in. And what is the cheapest way for them to test out a soccer tournament? Well, it's the Women's World Cup, right? The Men's World Cup would probably cost you 10 times that.
Yes.
I'm not trying to be mean or sexist. That's just the way it is, right? That is the biggest footballing soccer tournament in the world.
Yes.
The women's is not quite there yet, but is growing and it's very good. So it is a very good way to go, hey, let's purchase this, let's test through it, let's see what the numbers bear fruit, and then when we're ready, hey, EPL, Bundesliga, whoever it may be, men's FIFA tournament, we're in. This is our offer, and this is how much we can make from it.
And this is why I have my 1 share of Netflix.
You have 1 share at Netflix?
Yes. I would like it for it to split at some point, but maybe at some point I'll buy 1 more or 2 because what they're doing, it just is. This is where it's going. This is the future. It's either Amazon Prime or Netflix. I feel like.
We'll get away from soccer for a minute. We'll talk about Netflix. Do you know how much Netflix paid for the 2 NFL games they're showing on Christmas Day?
No.
So they paid $150 million just to show 2 games. Now, a lot of people are like, whoa, that's a lot of money. How are they
They have a
gonna
lot of cash flow.
How are they going to recoup that money?
Yeah.
It's not about recouping the money.
No.
So here's what you folks probably don't know. The average movie or show on Netflix allocates $75 million to that movie to be made and then
Correct.
put on Netflix. So it's essentially that's what they pay per an average movie.
Yep.
Right? So they might as well just say, wait a minute, let's put it to 2 football games on Christmas Day. Let's see the numbers. Let's bring more people in. Let's get the viewers there. Now, what people don't realize is they're like, well, they paid $150 million for one day to put these 2 movies on. What a lot of people don't realize is Netflix is selling advertising at the
Correct.
tune of almost $5 million.
Correct. That's their second
So they're
tier.
going to make money out of this.
Correct. That's the second tier. I mean, they wouldn't be doing this if the ad revenue for that second tier package hadn't gone up.
And they don't have things that have advertisements on
Correct.
it normally like this. And the amount of advertisements, because think of football, how often the freaking game stops.
Yes.
American football, right? So, hey, you learned a little something today about Netflix. It's good. It's a good deal for Netflix. They only paid $75 million to the NFL for the game.
It is.
They're going to make that out of it from the advertising and get more viewers to the network.
Yeah, because more people, because of the price that's gone up, would rather subscribe to the ad tier than they would to the highest tier with no ads.
Yep. So, pretty interesting there, but FIFA and Netflix for the 2027 and 31 Women's World Cup. That's where you can find those games.
Yep.
All right. Listen, we're going to do a shortened show today. I do, again, want to say a big thank you to Soccer World, a big thank you to Next Level Training. Merry Christmas to you guys. Merry Christmas to the Michigan Jags. Jags taking a little time off this week, letting all the kids recoup. They are doing some 4-on-4 tournaments, so that's pretty cool. Big thank you to Thomas McGee's. They are not taking time off. It is going to be a busy time of year for Thomas McGee's. Get down for Boxing Day to Thomas McGee's. Big thank you to Football Doc, Dr. Zachary Atwood. Big thank you to FootFab, Football Academy. Hopefully over there in England, you guys are having a Merry Christmas as well. Brooks, it's the MLS Superdraft that happened this past week. Friday, it happened. You did a little bit of work on it, but I want you to tell me right now, on Friday, if I wanted to be all in and watch the Super Draft, where was I going to be able to watch that?
Well, you couldn't because every team phoned their pick in and they did no live stream of it for the first time ever.
Did we transport back to 1983, and the way they used to do the drafts in the sports? Because what the F? I remember a couple of years ago tuning in to MLS.net or MLS, the website.
Yeah.
And I was able to watch it. They were streaming it.
Correct.
They didn't even stream it?
Nope, not even a stream.
Did they not earn enough money with Messi in the league this year? What the F?
I don't know. Or maybe they just didn't want to spend the production, or maybe they knew that, listen, we had to deal with the Apple TV, and it didn't make sense for us to do with Apple TV because we may not get all the viewers on it. So, yeah, it was just all I had to do literally was for the first round, I had to watch the ticker and refresh my page a bunch, and then finally for the second and third round, we got to buzz in with the teams we help and, listen to the picks and everything. And it's just as you imagine. Everyone's a number. They're all numbered from 1 to how many ever in alphabetical of what was it? Like we drafted Lucas Burns, one of the club we helped with drafted Lucas Burns, number 7-9, Lucas Burns. And that's how they read it out. Providence, and then.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah,
this
it's
isn't
really robotic.
1983.
Yeah.
This is MLS.
Yeah.
Fail. Disgusting. All right. Sorry. Continue.
Yeah. So it was what it was, but it was quite an interesting show. If you had or just selection with the draft picks, to be honest with you, it was.
Do tell.
So listen, let's start from the beginning here. So, MLS every year, underclassmen in college are awarded what we call the Generation Adidas contracts. So that's the top underclassmen in college soccer. Whoever the MLS front office, whatever the agent pushes or feels that should get the GA contract.
Okay.
And these GA contracts are no longer 6 figures like they used to be, like 200,000, 150, 160. These are just a little more probably than a senior contract. So you're probably looking between $80,000 and $90,000 with 2 years and maybe an option or 3 3-year contracts. So Anyway, so the four GAs were Mano Dua from UCSB, freshman. Dean Bolts from Wisconsin, who's a Chicago native, was the second GA. Tate Johnson, left back from UNC, was the third GA, and then those are three freshmen. And then it used to only be freshmen apparently that could get this after they changed this rule, and now they pivoted and they gave a sophomore, Alex Harris from Cornell, they gave Striker a GA contract, so there were four. Yes, and then there was supposed to be another freshman from Clemson that was going to get one, but if you didn't attend the combine, you couldn't get one, and the kid couldn't attend the combine because he couldn't move his finals. So this is MLS at its finest, folks. This is MLS just like not knowing what to do, unfortunately, and, just whatever. And, why does it matter if you attended the combine or didn't? Because you should do your homework and know the player. You know what I'm saying? So, anywho, so the number one overall pick with San Diego was Mano Dua from UCSB, an interesting midfielder. Santa Barbara area, but his family hails from Ghana. But he should be an interesting prospect. Max Floriani, the center back from SLU, St. Louis University to San Jose. I'm not sure about that one. He's a good athlete, but I'm not sure how great he is on the ball. So that's going to be an interesting one. And then the kicker here, here we go. There's some background on Dean Bolts, the Chicago Soccer's Wisconsin freshman forward here. So not many people know this. So when you're in an academy, like you homegrown, which means you tag your academy players, you get so many spots to tag in your academy, and then within your territory, you can tag up to 9 players that are within your territory. So if I'm Chicago, you tag some of the FC United and Soccer's kids who are also in MLS Next, just to make sure no one can come in there and take them from you, the other academies, if that makes sense.
Interesting.
Yes. So you're Chicago Fire, and you have Dean Bolts on your +9 list when he's a U19 with Soccer's FC. Why in the heck do you let him just go to college if you really probably wanted him anyways, and he gets a GA contract and you draft him? What's the point of doing that when maybe if you thought he was worth it, maybe you should have gave him a contract with the second team or whatnot to see if he didn't want to go to college, and then maybe he would already been there. So
Interesting. So Chicago Fire effing things up.
Yes, as usual.
As usual.
As usual. And listen, Dean Bolts scored 8 goals in his first 6 games. They didn't score anything after that. So this kid's a project. He's an interesting athlete.
Maybe not someone you should have drafted so high up.
I don't know if he
early
should.
on?
I don't know if he necessarily should get a GA contract just because he scored 8 goals in 6 games to start the season at Wisconsin. So. But I'd say of the GA players, probably Mano Dua is the most interesting, followed by Tate Johnson, the left back. There's not many, obviously, left-footed domestic players that can get forward like Tate. So, that's an advantage one. And then Alex Harris will be an interesting one. Scored a lot of goals as center forward, played for Westside Timbers, an ECNL team. So he was not even with the Portland Timbers Academy or played high level. I would consider MLS Next Soccer. He was ECNL, which is the step below. For to compare. So, and then another interesting thing, Colorado, eight draft picks, 5 in the first round.
Oh my God, Colorado! But Colorado had a good year this year, unexpectedly.
Yeah.
And then they had 8 draft picks with 5 in the first round because of all the GAM money.
GAM and TAM exchange. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I have the bandwidth, especially right now, to go through a GAM and TAM and how it all works out. But give us quick high level. How the hell did they get 5 picks in the first round?
Oh, it's just you're trading with teams. You're trading that GAM and TAM money you allocate throughout the year or have. And, I think it's only good, if I'm not mistaken, for the season or up into a certain point for a year.
Okay.
Or maybe you can.
So they had to use it and had to.
Well, yeah, or they had so much of it. They're like, we're not going to use all of this, so let's just do some trades.
Trade it away for draft picks.
Here, 50 GAM for this, 80 GAM for this, that's what we just do. And
it's like monopoly money in the MLS.
It's MLS monopoly money. So I don't know. They had some interesting picks. Some were stretches in my opinion. I don't know. And Colorado's an interesting organization where it's like, they want to do certain thing. I think there's a disconnect between the first team, second team, and the youth academy, because I thought they were going to build their Rapids 2 team with a lot of youth players, but either they drafted a lot of players for the future, or I don't know what they're doing. So
Interesting.
I don't know. I mean, Chris Armas is a new coach. Maybe he saw something in them or the scouting staff. I have no clue. But yeah. So some interesting draft picks though. Some I think in the third round that probably could have went higher. Honestly, in the first or second round, probably should have been taken. But I don't know if these teams do their homework anymore. I just don't know. I
agree with you, but.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus, the way the MLS is going these days, maybe they feel they don't have to because they don't care.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, well, the MLS Superdraft happened, and you didn't watch it because you couldn't watch it because MLS is being silly. That's the only word I have for this, silly. Yeah. It's 2024. It's going to be 2025 in a week and a half.
I mean, what's the point of having this thing if you're not going to do that? Like, why even,
It's another way to sell
think
some
it just
sponsorship or
Exactly.
some advertisements. Why didn't they?
I think it just stresses a lot of clubs out to have to do this because they just finished their season. They're worried about bringing in the big name players for next year. And, at what point is it like the MLS Players Association look at like what the NWSL Players Association did and said, we don't want the draft anymore.
Get rid of the draft. The NWSL got rid of it, so it's not going to be happening anymore. I predict this is maybe the way MLS winds it down.
Yeah.
This winding it down.
It could.
So this might be the last one that ever happened.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Anyway, Brooks, thank you for the explanation. Appreciate it. Thank you for the insight on some of the players there. It's going to be interesting to see if you're proven right or wrong over the next couple of years with those players.
We'll see.
We'll see. All right. Well, that should wrap us up for the night, my friends. Big thank you to everybody who joined in. Big thank you to those people watching. Hey, guys, Merry Christmas. We appreciate it. From all of us here at We Are Soccer, we hope you have a wonderful Christmas, a wonderful, safe
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah.
So, again, I do want to say a big thanks to some of the partners that have been with us throughout the year. We appreciate Soccer World, Next Level Training, the Michigan Jags, Thomas McGee's, the Football Doc, and the Fab Football Academy. We really appreciate that. The love and support you guys have shown us throughout the year. We look forward to 2025. We are going to do another show, by the way, next, Brooks. We'll be back next week.
Before the new year.
So
it's our New Year's party or whatever you want to say.
That's a good idea. We'll throw a party. We'll drink some champagne and stuff.
Yeah. Nate's going to be in a bunny suit.
A bunny suit?
Yeah.
What, like the Christmas Story bunny suit? Is that like
What's the pink bunny that everyone always wears for like New Year's or whatever?
I have no idea. This is news to me.
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, if you get him drunk enough, he'll do anything.
That's true.
Anyway, that could have gone in a way different direction. But anyway, I do want to say a big thank you and a big Merry Christmas, everybody. Please celebrate responsibly, have some fun, post on the Facebook group, and watch those football matches because, man, there's going to be some good ones. But until next week, have a Merry Christmas. Cheers.
Cheers.